Alright, everyone. So, one of the most daunting things right now in Dauntless is solo hunting. It's very challenging. It doesn't scale very well to a singular player. It can be very time-consuming and very, very unforgiving. I know yesterday I was hunting a Moonreaver Shrike, and I was hit 4 times, and that consumed half of my supplies. This was over the course of 40 minutes. So, you really do have to play to perfection. However, I figured this would be a good time and a good... this is going to be a hunt on a Ragetail Gnasher, and I'm gonna solo hunt the hell out of him, because at this point they're getting difficult enough to where you cannot rely on your teammates. Now you might say, hey, how does the Gnasher differ from... I'm sorry, how does the Ragetail differ from a normal Gnasher? The answer is not that much, shockingly. A little bit more mobile, but they have a lot of the same vulnerabilities. I'm going to talk about attack patterns and ways to approach this. And this is just a live, you know, take. We're just going to go for it. But yes, so it's anticipated that this video, now in the opening portions, I'm going to do everything I can to explain like the process of beating this thing, and I'm just going to run straight to him, because your danger raises over time for some reason, and you do not want it to kick in until the very latest end of the fight. Thankfully, he's pretty much available for opening here. You can see him rather clearly. God, it hurts ignoring that. That's okay. Let him know what's up. Them being me. So, this creature has a couple of various patterns and a couple of problems thematically. It's very easy to get caught under its tail. The collision hitbox blocks your movement. When he does this sweeping tail swing here, you basically get to move in for free and get a full combo. He'll do that either 1 or 5 times right there, where he dashes forward. It's important not to overcommit, because the back end of the tail hitbox can connect with you. He always rolls in that specific direction off of his Beaver Slam. And he's oddly not very vulnerable at the end of that 4-string, you would expect. You get a couple free swings when he starts growling around a bit. Oddly enough, so one thing that I think is worth noting, you really want to leave the tail on this guy, at least in early portions, because the tail is responsible for his sloppiest, most vulnerable attack pattern. So, it's actually pretty important, because of the tail, he uses this attack, which lets you get in more damage. And that's kind of a big deal. Now, he's not a creature of many diverse patterns, so that should be taken into note. As long as you play like kind of a methodical, cautious outside game here, you shouldn't be getting hit by anything, barring some really weird like collision hitbox. It's still alpha, so you have kind of that animation visual issue going on there with the dash in, but all in all, it shouldn't be too tough to distinguish what's going on. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Just like that. Really solid for Chain Blade specifically. He's going to jump around a bit. I'm going to go in. And I'm going to go out. Just like that. Go in, go out. He's vulnerable. Now, it's important not to mix up his attack pattern there. He has a second alternative tail swipe that essentially, when utilized, it doesn't do a full rotation, it does a quarter rotation, and he is not in lag after that shot at all. So I just committed almost one of the big cardinal mistakes in this fight, which is to say that I dodged directly away from him as opposed to the side. And when you do that, you leave yourself vulnerable to a follow-up on his dash out. That little move right there, Beaver Dash, yeah, that's gonna follow you if you jump directly away. 2 and 3. So lateral movement is very important here. You don't want to go back and forth. You want to go left and right. So my gear for this right now, I'm utilizing his weapon, actually. So that's worth noting. Oh god. So right there I almost did it again. But that's worth noting, I'm utilizing his weapon. And so this is actually above gear for what you should have if you wanted to initiate a fight on him. That's the only reason, because right now this game's not very solo viable. Because I'm overgeared on him by a sliver, I will be able, potentially, to beat this. I meant to dash backwards, jumped right into him, got big mouthful. Well, I got smacked. Is the point. There we go. So now that we've got him on a far lower away, I'm just going to heal up for a second or two. Cancel that, he's on me. So when he goes into, that's his 1 string, but if he goes into his 5 string, that's when he's most open. That's when you're going to basically, it's not good for following up on him offensively, but it definitely lets you pull off whatever you need defensively. So like, he's going to go into 5 string here, and so I'm going to get my free heals on. That's a full rotation, we're going to go in on. Be careful, by the way, that tail swings back, and it can definitely screw you over. It's got a very strong backward hitbox as well. So again, I recommend whenever engaging him, and this is, I can't emphasize this hard enough, engage him from his sides, not directly in front, not from the back. Engage him directly on his sides because that gives you the best angle for dashing out and avoiding the big follow-ups. So like right. So a lot of groups are really having trouble with this guy, and it's mystifying to me because his patterns are very, very straightforward. So it's something to keep in mind. You're going to have trouble in party with this, but yeah. For whatever reason, no one seems to be able to survive longer than a handful of minutes against this guy in current alpha testing. Like, people just aren't there. They're not only not geared, but they're not recognizing the patterns, and they're not utilizing the tools they need to beat this guy out. I, of course, speak as a dirty chain user, so take it for what you will. He's going to do this 4 times in rage mode, and then I'm going to have a light follow-up on tail. I can't really get to the core body here, and that's okay. I just have to accept that. That's a full rotation, and even in rage mode, the same rule applies. Woo! Just barely. But even in rage mode, the same rule applies. He will have a long delay, which is why we don't want to break the tail. Not for the sake of solo hunting here. We can't afford to. We'll lose out on way too much damage. That was faster. I'm not going to trust that animation. When in doubt, take your instincts for it. So he has a long cooldown after rage, which gives you guaranteed follow-ups. Very useful stuff. And if you break something, guzzle that damage. Push him in. Whew. So I just consumed the Berserk Potion. Has some upsides and some downsides. Upside, I do double damage, or something along those lines. Downside, if he hits me, I'm dead. It's gone now, though, so I'm safe again. Beaver Slam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Again, horizontal movement. Doing wonders. The best way to provoke that laggier attack is to stand at about a mid-range right here. He'll either do Beaver Slam, like that, or he'll do his Tailspin. And the Tailspin is where he's very vulnerable. Oof. It picked me up just on the end of that. Kind of caught me. Weird collision, but honestly, probably my fault there. Alright, let's take some health back. And let's go back into the fight. Tailspin, full rotation. Going in. You might say, why are you taking it so slow? But the reality is, you have to, on this specific fight, he does not have a great vulnerability. So you have to just take the shots in where you know they are, and you can't really overcommit. This is a game about not overcommitting. So he's entering Rage Mode again here. This is perfect, because it means that we're going to get a guaranteed follow-up at the end of Rage Mode. Neither one's particularly threatening. Neither of his modes is, like, horribly engaging or difficult on its own right. So, like, I'm still going to get free follow-up damage here. I'm just going to back up. Is that a full Tailspin? That is. So I have a bit of a distance here. I didn't quite get in. I'm actually just going to abort on that. That was, it would be a mistake to really hard commit there. I would have gotten slammed from full to death. Now, this can not only hit you for massive damage, it can lock you too. And that's a big, 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 big problem. It'll lock you from full to dead if you get caught under that tail. Now, this is much more. Woo! And now I guzzle my first potion. Okay, so when he runs away here, he's looking to basically chill. He wants to get out of Rage Mode, and it takes him time, and it's a big commitment. So you can really get the damage in there, you see? If you're going to guzzle any Berserk Potions or put any damage in on him, you really want to put it in at roughly the end of Berserk or after you knock him down by damaging the lid. One of the two. One of the two. That's a full spin, going in. And we're going in, just like... One, two, three. So, that's phase one right there. We've gotten through what is essentially that open. We have to find him. We'll have to repeat the same process one more time, and if successful, then we'll almost be done with the fight. This is kind of what I'm talking about. It's very lengthy. Solo hunting as a whole in this game right now, it's kind of in a weird place, because like I've barely been touched the entire fight, and I'm about par with where I need to be. If I got hit once or twice more in that fight, it would just as easily be his favor right now. And that's part of the difficulty at the moment. It's a big statistical barrier, because the game is so revive reliant in group setting. And it just doesn't work mechanically the same way, I feel, for solo play. But I'm gonna get back into it here and beat the shit out of this beaver. I may get a little bit more quiet here. I don't believe I have anything else to discuss. Screw it. I'll talk to you. one fur? Yes. So I think I'd recommend, if you're a chain user, I'd recommend swinging early on that, just in case it is a one fur. That way you can follow up twice. I'm stuck under him, so I'm gonna get hit. That happens from time to time. It's very frustrating, and you can't really do much to stop it. It happens pretty often. You can't dodge out of it. It's very, very problematic when it happens. Okay. He's doing something strange here. There we go. Alright, so he's in his 5 string, so I'm just going to take another heal there. Just for when the resistance. So resistance is at 54, I'm sorry, danger is at 54 here. And that's going to pose a big problem for me if this takes much longer. Because the game gets notably more difficult once that danger meter in the upper left, that little circle with the number, once that fills up to 100, my life gets substantially harder. Substantially. Whoa, teleporting beaver. That's not good. I shouldn't have dashed back there. He was open. That's okay. Yeah, so preemptive swing gave me a 4 string on that. That's not bad. He's gonna 5 string because he 1 string last time. Want another way to keep up? Woo. Now, I've heard rumor that these guys drop pungent hides, and that is a big reason to know why and how to fight them. Pungent hides are one of the key components to getting into the next highest tier of gear, and should not be disregarded. Okay, he's in his string. I'm going to just use this stamina recovery here. Just relax for a hot second. That's a swing, and a miss, and I'm in. Oh, yep. So that's confirmed. He's also entering rage mode here, so I've got some free swings, though not enough health, so I'm going to focus the tail to stay out of stoppage. Full rotation, let's go in. Okay, stam regen. 5 string? No, 1 string. Interesting. Relative safety that the chains provide is invaluable, by the way. This is a really important tool for solo hunting. I think it's probably the best weapon for it, just because of the raw safety factor. It very much matters. He's going to run, and he's looking to get away and recover. And we're not going to let him do that. And right there is what I'm talking about. I jumped back vertically with him because I wasn't on the side, so he got a free follow-up. That one right there was entirely my fault for not recognizing his pattern. Alright. You don't even have to dash out of the way of the beaver slam, which is the strangest part. Oh, he's down, is he? Okay, I'll take it. That's a full rotation. Let's get back in there. Oi, crikey! What a beaut! Alright. Please forgive my terrible Australian accent. I like the dash. It makes me feel safe. It's important in my life. Ah! Bad beaver. So again, he'll do that pattern 4 times, and he ends on 1/5 pop. And that's the 5-stroke. Yeah, I got a little too risky there. You shouldn't attack him from the front. Pretty much it. You have to be careful because that stomp is definitely an added part of his repertoire in Rage mode that he utilizes a lot more frequently. So again, the name of our game here is just bait him out, be patient, wait for him to actually run out of rage, and there's going to be great comeuppance. In fact, I should start conserving stamina right now. Too many RPGs for me, folks. This is me not going in, conserving stamina, because he's about to run out of rage. Here it goes. Whew, just barely dodged that. Kind of got myself locked into a corner there. It's something you want to avoid. Don't push against the wall with this guy. He will pin you. You will regret it. You will have trouble with collision hitboxes. It's very dangerous. That's another option, too, as a chain user. You can wait for the swing and then jump over. It gives you a faster, more efficient follow-up, but it's riskier by a significant amount. So be aware of that. Don't... Oh, he's gone. Huh. Don't overcommit in that sense, and just, you know, play it smart. So my danger's at a 74 right now. It's getting really close to not letting me revive. So what happens when that danger maxes out is it'll cancel my ability to be revived. It will increase the damage I take. So when I'm fighting this guy from full health... I'm sorry, when I'm fighting this guy in maximum danger, it is an obligation of mine, effectively, to... One moment, let's get this wisp here. Oh, there's a beaver down there. Ah! It is an obligation for me to fight from absolute full health when danger is up, because he can and will one-shot me, despite me being in reasonably good geared armor. So that's the other thing about this fight, is for all of this effort, and for everything going on, you can still be just literally killed in a single shot. Oof. And just like this, I'm on the ropes. Gotta eat a potion. Try not to die. Cool. Exactly what the doctor wanted. Got rid of the bleed effect. So if he hits you with a tail, because I should discuss this, just in case you're not, you know, doing semi-perfect. If he touches you with that tail, you're going to eat a bleed effect. And the way the bleed effect works is, it punishes stamina usage. So anytime that you try to use any kind of move that relies on stamina, you'll take damage for it, including sprinting, running, you name it. Very problematic, to say the least. Again, it is almost always better safe than sorry. There's no need to push in too hard on this one. Other than our mounting danger. Oh, he quarter spun there, so I'm going to follow him. At least I think. Again, better safe than sorry. Especially, this is solo fights where they are right now. You cannot overcommit. So that was a quarter swing. He's not in lag, so I'm not going to go in on that. It's important to distinguish the difference there. He doesn't use it often, but when he does, you will regret it. Like right there, quarter swing. You want to make sure. He tends to utilize it more from the side. Here's going to be a full rotation, because he went the other way on his knee. Right into it. I need to get rid of that bleeding effect now with Pop. So by example, for as well as I've played this entire solo fight, what's going on here is I'm barely ahead of him in this fight right now. He's going into rage though, so this is going to be really good for us. One string, one string. I would go in here, but I need to conserve stamina. I'm caught underneath him, so I could die right then and there. If he had engaged an attack once I'm caught under his hitbox like that, you can't dash out. You will get caught on collision. It's very problematic. I could have straight up died. He's dead. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you solo a Ragetail Gnasher. So, yeah. It was a 27-minute fight. Pretty lengthy, considering I'm overgearing him. The time, if you were to try and approach that fight, with the weapons that you should utilize, i.e. the monster before him, at max upgrade, you're looking at 150, you would be seeing, 140, you would be seeing a 33% time increase on that, so you would be seeing, you know, close to a 40-minute fight, just to take down your progressive solo fight. That would definitely be problematic, and even then, our danger almost hit 100% there. This is currently the main issue with solo farming. It's really not very viable at the moment, one. But two, this is also just how you deal with a Ragetail Gnasher. Tell your friends, because I'm sick of watching parties wipe on this guy. He's not that hard. Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. I'm going to continue stream, but I'm going to end this YouTube video.